My involvement with Guatemala began with the orphanage in Guatemala City, and my initial contact with them led me to come to know about this large group of people that wanted to enter into the canonical Orthodox Church. So after dialoguing with them and visiting their communities, in 2010 we began receiving their clergy and their people into the canonical Orthodox Church. So here we are, something that started many years ago with the founder of the church, Father Andres Giron. He was their voice to all of Guatemala, who began meeting the needs of these people in his own way, and was there to be their number one advocate for the needs that they had. And so they honored him as the founder of this movement, which eventually led them into the Orthodox Church.
De las familias carecen de salud, de educación y sobre todo de economía. Y eso increíblemente afecta a nuestra iglesia, a las comunidades. Entonces, la necesidad que nosotros sentimos acá en Guatemala es que nuestra gente tiene algunos medios, pero no los suficientes para poder sobrevivir y para poder acrecentar o darle una figura física a la iglesia ortodoxa. Por eso, pues creo que necesitamos de todos nuestros hermanos ortodoxos de los Estados Unidos que nos apoyen con todo lo que puedan, desde un grano de incienso, desde un icono, desde muchas cosas que la iglesia necesita, de recursos de...
In order for us to have a mission trip like this, we have to get the word out to people in the United States who have a skill set that will be compatible with the needs that we have here. So through various means, personal contacts, through the website of the Orthodox Christian Mission Center, we advertise the upcoming teams so that people who apply can be considered for inclusion in our teams. And we've been doing this now for the last 10 years. We have a team that has come here from different parts of the United States with various medical skills. We have a dentist, we have 3 doctors, we have an EMT. The clinic is an extension of the work of Christ. We not only minister to the souls, spiritually speaking, merely preaching the good news, but we also reach out as a way to express the love of Christ through healing. Just as Christ himself did when he went somewhere, he not only spoke about the kingdom of God, healed people at the same time, further adding to the authenticity of his message.
In comparison with my American patients there, a lot of people had a lot of dental needs. Obviously, there's no dentistry around here. There's no oral hygiene. There's no ability to obtain a toothbrush, toothpaste, and also their Western diet consists of a lot of carbohydrates. And so, combining all those, there was a lot of decay with infections too. It was really, really heartbreaking. It took a little bit of a toll on me on the first day.
But the type of care that these people require is really mostly primary care. They suffer from many of the diseases that are part of the Western world. Hypertension is rampant, diabetes is rampant, and surprisingly, even obesity.
Gracias a Dios, con la presencia de la clínica acá en Aguacate, no solamente ha sido de beneficio para esta comunidad, ha sido de beneficio para mucha gente, para muchas aldeas circunvecinas de acá. Gracias a Dios estamos atendiendo a mucha gente, sobre todo con problemas de diabetes, que es las enfermedades más fuertes que están acá en nuestro medio. Pero hemos ayudado a muchas personas y la presencia de la clínica acá ha sido de mucha bendición, porque la clínica ha estado abierta no solamente para los fieles ortodoxos, sino para toda la población que tenga necesidad de primeros auxilios o de lo que esté al alcance de la clínica, y el personal que tenemos pues se le ha brindado a la gente, y la gente pues está muy agradecida.
I had, over the week, I would say, at least 30% under the age of 8, and all I was doing really is extracting teeth. I'd like to do more, but, in a child 3 years old, only about 3 really good teeth, and typically they have 20 teeth in their mouth, and you'd have to choose maybe 2 to 3 or 4 that were really bad.
Y había momentos también, por ejemplo, pequeños, al sacarles un diente, al hacerles una extracción, pues empezaron a llorar y daba lástima también. Entonces, pero después del dolor ya empezaron a reírse porque ya no tenían el mismo dolor de los dientes, y pienso que
The clinic here has 2 dental chairs, and to really be functional and to really meet the needs, but I was the only dentist, and actually I needed an assistant. And there was this young man, 16 years old, named Moses, and he really struck me. When we got here, I asked His Grace for his blessing to have Moses, and His Grace said, absolutely. And Moses was really into it. He said, absolutely, I'll come and help you.
en el primer día, los 2 días, pues era muy bien y me gustó mucho cómo lo hacía. Le ayudaba a entender la gente, a traducir a la gente para el doctor, aunque no mucho, pero así entender a las personas de lo que necesitaban y qué es lo que necesitaban en los dientes. Y pues la pequeña experiencia fue muy bonita, porque llegaban las personas y hablaban y complacían sus necesidades dentales.
He's the reason I saw probably almost 100 patients in 4 days. If I did not have an assistant, maybe a quarter of that, he's really the hero of the story.
The team did really well at getting into the flow pretty quick.
The pinch point is the translator. You need 3, maybe 4 translators really to handle the Mayan and just move things along more efficiently.
We had the 3 medical doctors and myself, and having patients and only having 2 translators was really tough, and we were kind of running them ragged.
It could be a causa de que.
Because cool. Okay. Well, this will.
Did you want to ask why are you here? Or
Yeah. ¿Por qué
venido
venido?
a la clínica?
Okay.
Why have you come to the clinic?
Gotcha.
Because it would be a little weird to say, why are you here? You know?
¿Por qué ha venido a la clínica? Muy bien.
Taking care of a patient is a personal relationship, and being able to speak to them in your own language and connect is very important. It's something that, as a 63-year-old doctor, a skill that I've developed and is so important. But I had to use the translator, and oftentimes the relationship developed between the translator and the patient, and at the end of the visit, they were all hugs and thank you, and I was sort of an observer. So that was a little bit funny and tricky, but many of the people here don't speak Spanish. They speak a native dialect called Chug, and so we had Chug translated to Spanish, translated to English.
Now she doesn't understand. But if we get close to her and speak loudly, then she can understand.
Okay. And she talks?
Yeah, habla también.
Slowly. Slowly.
Yeah, she's
Okay. Okay.
La mayoría de los pacientes que vienen son de aquí, de estas áreas, y todos hablan Chug. Para ellos es muy fácil y más factible también, porque muchos no pueden hablar español, entonces para ellos es mejor. Y otra de las ventajas es que como aquí la cultura es muy diferente, a veces las mujeres les da pena ir con un doctor, entonces prefieren que una mujer les evalúe, por eso siempre vienen mucho aquí, también más por religión.
Very shortly, this hospital, this little clinic that we have in the village of Aguacate already has a full-time nurse who has been educated by our mission center. By next year at this time, we will also have a full-time doctor who will be serving her own people, speaking the language of the people here in the village, and they will be able to offer much more on a daily basis to the people in their time of need.
Mi hermana está estudiando medicina y este año está cerrando el pensum, entonces el próximo año, primeramente Dios, 2026, vamos a empezar a trabajar las dos, a trabajar en la clínica. Yo estudié empezar enfermería porque mi mamá es diabética, entonces yo quería darle los cuidados. Después recibí un apoyo de OCMC, ellos me dieron una beca para estudiar enfermería, por eso estoy también apoyando aquí en la clínica. Actualmente voy por los 3 años de estar trabajando aquí en la clínica.
She's going to have the greatest impact because she is a daughter of this culture, of this city, and be able to teach people basic nutrition, hygiene, because the problems we're seeing are diabetes and high blood pressure and aches and pains, so many of which can be alleviated with healthy nutrition. And they have the means here. I think they just need to be taught, and simple brushing of the teeth. So I think that she can do what we can't do because she knows the people, reach the people, and she'll be here year-round. And I hope to see their level of healthcare elevated through their own improved lifestyles.
Pienso que algunas personas han dicho y están muy agradecidas por el trabajo que hace aquí, porque no solo es dar el tratamiento, sino también hablar sobre la prevención. Por ejemplo, a veces hemos reunido a los pacientes que no vengan solo a las consultas, sino informarles sobre la prevención, porque muchos carecen de esa información. Nadie les ha dicho nunca cómo se cuida. Creo que eso es importante también.
In the future, we hope that this outreach, which began in a very humble way, can eventually expand to have a much greater effect in the Guatemalan communities here that we serve. A small hospital that can offer services, surgeries, diagnoses that will be very helpful to the local people, because they don't have the wherewithal financially to go to a hospital, a private hospital, because it's so expensive. People living and working in rural areas, farming a small piece of land to sustain themselves and their families. These people have very little other than their church and their community.
El aguacate es una aldea muy bonita. Tiene lluvia, tiene linda gente, es muy amable, toda la gente es muy generosa, todas las personas, pues, cuando hablan con uno personalmente empiezan a sacar una conversación interesante pues la gente es muy bonita y muy entregado más por todo en la iglesia ortodoxa.
People here are amazing. They're happy and seem so full of life with so little. And it's humbling to think about how we complain when we have so much. Being able to give them basic medical care that would be unacceptable in the United States, and they're so grateful, has been a wonderful experience.
I would say that they're my heroes, really. They just, the cross that they bear is tremendous, but they come in, they're just so elated that you're here, and they just say thank you, muchas gracias, muchas gracias, muchas gracias, and it's really touching. It's very patient to see that, and how thankful they are. And then knowing that we came from far away just to come to their village and to help out was an incredible experience.
Quite a few teams have come with the medical focus being the number one reason for their coming. But at the same time, these teams also are able to offer to the local people something of their own Orthodox faith as well. And also we too are able to receive from the local people their faith, so that we can kind of, in a sense, have this fellowship where we create this community of people who are of different ethnic backgrounds, but at the same time we are able to create a kind of like a family feeling among them, where they recognize that they are now members of a worldwide church and not just a local community in some little known place in Guatemala. They now know that they belong in the church and that their presence is very much appreciated, respected.
So it really shows me an appreciation for Orthodoxy and how grateful they are for their faith and how they use their faith in this village. It really is the old way, where the church is the center of the life.
So what we have encountered here is a people with great faith, humility, and a wonderful love of Christ and the Theotokos, the Virgin Mary. So the need was here. They wanted sacraments, they wanted baptisms, they wanted people to preside in their lives over their moments of joy and grief.
It was just so inspiring. And I will tell you that being in the congregation and being with everybody there and then singing together as a congregation, it didn't matter if you knew the language or not. The essence of the hymns were always there, and it came into your heart, and it was quite an experience.
Esta es la fe de los apóstoles. Esta es la fe de los padres. Esta es la fe.
Sunday was the Sunday of Orthodoxy, where we do the icon procession, and it was actually done outside and through the village, kind of in a loop. And I mean, it's the first time I've ever experienced that.
And then so much joy. The community is very committed to their Orthodox Christianity, and it's one that's filled with joy, which really inspires me.
Those of us that have come here as missionaries have experienced such a joy that's almost impossible to describe with words. We find that people with great love for us, they've opened their arms to us in all their humility, in all of their poverty. They have embraced us, and we have been drawn to them because of how they relate to us. And we can't help but want to come back again and again and again with doctors, with nurses, with missionaries, to form this relationship that will help us glorify God and bring the kingdom of Christ into this country in a fuller way.
We're here to help. And I think this is the point of it, that what we're doing here is not for us or for, that we come here to get some notoriety. It's to help our fellow man. And I always go by the scripture reading of love God with all your heart, mind, soul, and body, but love thy neighbor as yourself. And they certainly are our neighbors, and they need the help. And if this video can help anybody to see what is involved, will give a spark to anybody who's thinking about it, that's great.
Me siento muy feliz. Es una manifestación que la gente ha, como repito, la gente ha abrazado a la ortodoxa. Por lo poquito que conocemos nosotros, que conozco y que la gente ha aprendido, lo hace con todo su corazón. Para mí me siento muy feliz de sentir que estamos en una gran familia en la cual nos entendemos y compartimos el mismo estado de fe. Entonces creo que, repito, sentimos que el Espíritu Santo después de 2000 años ha llegado a Guatemala, y sobre todo a la gente maya que somos nosotros, al comprender y entender que un día también nosotros podamos convertirnos en íconos de Cristo para poder seguirle dando este triunfo a la Iglesia Ortodoxa. Pero es una alegría muy grande para mí al saber que cada día estamos aumentando y la presencia de poder realizar las prácticas ortodoxas de nuestra iglesia.
Gracias, gracias.